Okay. I seem to be back. I haven't received anything from YouTube yet. Obviously, the stream was shut down. Um, I'm still trying to figure out what happened and why it was taken down. And I believe I know. No, it wasn't a glitch. Actually, Ian was the one who told me, he texted me and told me that the stream was down. I don't know when it cut out. And I thought maybe it was my singing that did it. It's such a pain in the arse on YouTube to stream without music, and if it gets just the slightest hint of anything, they'll flag you for that. On my YouTube channel, if I go to my YouTube channel, is there information here? There is no information here. So on my YouTube channel, if I go and view my own video, what they tell me is that it was brought down because of community guidelines, and I've tried to go and figure out what the community guidelines that I broke are, but it didn't send me an email. Yeah, and they don't tell me what they think it violated. Only that it's part of their community guidelines that have been violated. And the community guidelines are, I mean, they're pretty specific, and many of them you can tell right out of the gate that is not something I have broken. So the first category is spam and deceptive practices. Fake engagement. Fake engagement is content that offers money to increase your views. You know, so if there's a service that like, oh, you pay us $100 a month, and we'll set a whole bunch of computers up to view your stuff. Fake engagement is not allowed, and so that's not what's going on. I assume those of you that are here are here. I know those of you that are here aren't. I didn't force anyone to come in. Impersonation is the next category. Channels with the same name and image as another channel, different. The only difference being a space inserted in the name. So, if I was naming my channel Dr. Demento and just changed a semicolon or spelled something different. Links in content, and this is the one that probably was it. I posted the Discord server link in the. I posted the Discord server link in the chat, and I don't think that they like that. So examples, links in your content, video featuring sexually themed content, a gameplay video whose description contains a link to a website promising free in-game currency, posting a link to a phishing site that steals users' banking information, instructing viewers to copy and paste an unclickable link in the video, any link leading users to a website, file hosting service, yada, 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 that allows them to access child pornography, or anything of that nature. And so it might just be that the Discord link was flagged, was what got flagged for that, or what ended up getting the video flagged. That's the only one that I can see. Spam, deceptive practices, Manipulated media, scams, voter suppressions, census participation, repetitive comments, live stream abuse, any of that stuff. Again, none of that is mine. And then all of the other categories are really really broad in terms of what they cover, but they're also very specific. Harassment and cyberbullying, which, I mean, there's none of that here. Harmful or dangerous content, none of that here. Hate speech, none of that here. Violent criminal organizations, none of that here. Violent or graphic content, none of that here. Child safety, custom thumbnails, nudity and sexual content, suicide and self-injury, content featuring firearms, and the sale of illegal or regulated goods. And so I'm very obviously not going against any of those other things. And so the only thing I can think of was the link that I'd posted. And so shame on me, and I shan't do that again. I was unaware that posting a link would be that terrible. And so down it goes. Down it goes. We'll see what happens. People on Discord are now asking what happened. Okay, so now everybody's in the loop. I've had my wrist thoroughly and properly slapped, and we can all move on now to whatever the heck we were doing, I suppose. Hopefully. Yeah, it was the link to it was the link to Discord that did it. You're not allowed to post links. Reason being that link could have gone anywhere. I could have had all kinds of inappropriate and illegal type content on a Discord server, and by posting that link, that violated the YouTube community guidelines, and so won't be doing that again. For shame on me. Though I didn't realize there were that many people over on populating the Discord server at the moment. But yeah. Yep. There was background music. I was listening to background music, but and I do predict this. Thanks, Bobby. And so yeah, that seems to be what happened. I think I'm back in live now. I've got my own YouTube channel up here, so I'm checking to see everything looks the way it's supposed to. I got 7 of you guys back, and so anyway, keep trudging on here, I guess. I don't know when you guys got cut off. I'm not entirely sure when the video popped out and that kind of thing. It says that I did not receive a strike, copyright strike or anything like that, and so I should be okay. It says community guidelines describe the content we allow and don't allow on YouTube, yada yada yada. Was flagged to us for review. Upon review, we determined that it violates our guidelines, and we removed it from YouTube. And so yeah, gone be that video. Luckily, in the grand scheme of the project that I'm currently working on, it's just the modeling of the helmet that I'm losing. Because again, this entire project is being live streamed. So I'm gonna have a video of the entire building of this thing. And so if I lose some modeling on one asset here, I ain't gonna be hurt. Okay, so what I need to do now is remove all the little grooves in here, and replace it with a slot. I was in the midst of telling a story. I don't know how far I got into the story. I mean, I know how far I got into the story. I don't know how much of the story you guys heard. I can use the grow, and we'll just get rid of just one half of this thing. And all I'm going to do, I'm just going to hide this thing. Hide selection. It's going to hide that. Hide. And then we can deal with this one without any interference from that other one. And really what I want to do is essentially remove all of the polygons that are in the middle here, and then just shrink that hole down to make it fit a little bit better. So I'm going to try and line up my camera here so that I can just do a single edge through the middle, and then hit grow and delete. The next thing that I want to do is go and remove the gaps in between here. The guy holding the sign. That was me. I was the guy holding the sign. And so anyway, it was so cold. So we would do this job, and we would do it from mid-March to late November. And the way the job worked, I mean, it was freezing. It was really, really cold in those. Like the summer months were great. You know, you'd have your shirt off and you'd have your safety vest on. You'd be tanning all day. And it was really like the work paid really, really well, which was always a nice thing about that. However, those summer months were few and far between. You know, you got maybe July and August where it was warm enough to do that. Maybe a little bit of late May. September started getting cold again. And so, yeah, so it wasn't all the time good times, but there were some good times. Now, when it was cold, it was cold. And we used to take the asphalt, and we would take it out of the machine that would lay the asphalt, which had this big scoop in the front, and we'd all walk over with shovels, and we'd scoop out a few scoops of the asphalt and lay it on our feet. And the goal here was actually to let the heated asphalt, so there was a flame in the bottom of the asphalt container, and the goal was to actually have the asphalt heat up your shoes. So you were wearing steel-toe boots, and the goal was to get that to heat up under the heat of the asphalt. And the reason we would do that is that it then kept you warm for a good chunk of the day, which was really nice. You know, maybe an hour or so. That's peculiar. I don't know if those are attached to the other side of the strap. They don't look like they are because they're in the wrong place. Well, I'm going to investigate that before I delete those, because deleting needed vertices is going to be a bad thing. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go and bridge this to close it. And so, yeah, it was really, really, really cold, and I couldn't take much more of it. I did it for 1 year, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back and got me out of there and looking for artwork again. Because, man, that really sucked. Now I need to close this, and I don't think I'm going to be able to scale it to close it. So I'm going to try a couple of different things. I'm going to try an extrusion. We'll see how this works. I'm going to try extruding by local normal. And that's what I want, right? Well, that's too much. Much too much is too much. Let's bring this back. So essentially I need that, which is good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these vertices and these vertices. We're going to make sure our edge constraint is on. And I'm going to scale them towards each other till they hit that gap. And then I'm going to go and delete the inner workings. And so, yeah, I have a lot of respect for the folk that go and do that kind of thing. But anyway, in terms of the what that story had to do with the helmet here, is that one of the reasons I'm not looking at reference for the helmet portion of this is both that I wore a helmet for about a year, a hard hat that was part of my everyday job apparel, and that sucked. That was not fun. I also had steel toe boots, obviously, that I wore when I did this job, and man, those steel toe boots at the end of 1 year of working, they had to be thrown out, and that's not because I stopped paving. It was because they were unusable, and the reason for that was that they, after pouring all that asphalt in the colder months on the boots, they weighed like 20 pounds. And so you can imagine, like, I did this in March. I did it when the year, got underway. And then did it again in November at the end of the year. And so you can imagine how heavy these boots were in the summer months, which, I mean, I had, my legs looked fantastic. The workout that gave me, all the summer months, lugging around these 20-pound boots on my feet, it was something else. But anyway, I'm not looking at reference for the helmet mainly for that reason, is that I had me one of these, wore the damn thing almost every day, except for Saturdays and Sundays. I made so much money when I had that job. It's backbreaking work, and it's painful work, but you are really well compensated for it. So yeah, it looks like those vertices were attached. The check for that, to see if they are attached or not, is that I just went into my my polygons here, and I selected the entirety of this object, hold control and go to vertices, and that converts your selection of vertices. And if you can move these, well, let's turn that off, and see that there are no other vertices remaining, or you hit invert, and it tells you there's nothing selected. You're clean, you're good. And so that'll work. I've now got that part done. So I now need the lamp that's going to go on the front of this thing. So I'm going to do some research here. I've got Google open, and I've already kind of looked at a bunch of these things. And it's just a matter of finding the right era. I mean, I can put anything on this thing. I'm not really tied to any one particular thing. But I want something that's going to look pretty interesting. I don't mind that. That's pretty interesting too, with the wraparound. You can actually see this is just like a cap with like a metal thing over top of it. A lot of these things are pretty funky. I've got to make a one of the creatures I'm doing is a genie, and so I'm going to need to do an Aladdin art station. I'm going to need to do an Aladdin style lamp as well. I think I want to avoid doing anything too modern. I mean, I know this is the style of helmet that I'm using, but I think it would look better if it was something a little bit older. I mean, that does fit. Yeah, okay. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's... Actually, you know what I'll do? Let's get rid of the word old. Just do a miner's helmet and see what else we find here. Yes, sir. But of course, bleeding into absolutely every facet of my life is Minecraft. My son, my kid, has discovered console commands in Minecraft, and so that's his big thing right now. Is he is all about Minecraft console commands, and just seeing how far he can go breaking that game. And so, yeah, it's pretty invasive. Okay, so I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty happy with this one. So I'm just gonna have to go and model this now. Now, the one that I'm using, I don't actually have it in reference in terms of any kind of reference with the helmet. And so what I'm going to do is just model it, and then I'll just scale it to be, you know, somewhere about the scale that I want it to be. Again, because this is an asset that is going to be something that players can pick up, and that they can manipulate and they can move around. It is absolutely going to be necessary that this be round enough. And so 18 is not going to cut it. 24 is what I'm using on the helmet, and I think that's going to work quite nicely. I want this, and we're going to go this out and pull the height back about here. Okay. The other thing that this thing needs is a box, which is going to go against the helmet. I'm going to go and make sure this is at the center. And actually, I'll do this from the side because it'll be a little bit easier. And so I'm going to put a box here, like so. I have no idea how big I made that thing. I made it that big. I'm going to bring the height down this way, because I want to be below the little mohawk groove. Bring it down here a little bit further. And I'm obviously going to have to cut it inside the helmet, but that's okay. The other project I'm doing, is that something you can discuss? The one you want? Yeah, actually, that is totally something I can discuss. I have a really hard time with being able to show what that project is in regards to the original, because all it is, Bobby, is just redoing the intro to an old cartoon. And that cartoon is Mask, an old favorite of mine from when I was a kid. And one of the issues that I've got, I live stream working on that. If you go through my videos on YouTube, you'll actually see a bunch of the live streaming work on that. But it's essentially, I've got a little bit of an issue live streaming it because I'm reproducing a video, and the reference for that video is on YouTube, but it's somebody else's video. And as a result, whenever I open up the reference material, I get flagged for copyright infringement, which sucks a bunch. But yeah, if you look up Mask intro, you can see what the original one looks like, and kind of how much stuff there is going on. We are trying to match it shot for shot. And we are not just making a 3D version of it, but we are attempting to update the design of some of the pieces. So instead of an 82 Camaro, it's 2018 Camaro. And so it's one of those things that we're trying to update the design of what's there. And not just rehash the same old thing. Mask give you nightmares? We might not be talking about the same Mask. There was nothing scary about. This is not like Jim Carrey The Mask. It's just something called Mask. It was Mobile Armored Strike Command with a K. So that it formed the acronym MASK. But yeah, it's essentially building that. It's trying to create a an updated version of things so that we're using kind of the design aesthetics of today. It's a bunch of heroes wearing obviously masks, and they are fighting crime, taking down enemies, and what have you. And so far, it's yeah. I think that's exactly what he's thinking of, is that mask. This is not that mask. That mask is actually far more popular than the mask we are doing, but yeah, it's definitely not that mask. Okay, so I've got this. I'm gonna put a little doodad in the middle here. So we're gonna inset something like so. Yeah, Jim Carrey. That's definitely not the one that I'm doing. I have no interest in anything Jim Carrey. Let's do bevel here so I can 2 birds, 1 stone. Bevel. And we'll bring this back. So we're going to go not height, but in. And then, okay. And then not in, but out. And again, less out, less in. Boy, no, don't move. Don't move, boy. Bring that down. Bring that down. And there we've got a little button. Okay, and then this. That and that. And extrude. Where are you going? That. I'm going to reset the X form on this. I keep getting screwed up here. My bar is in the wrong place. It's the physics one, and that's mine. So let's reset the X form on this. Polygons, we can go and branch these on Y. Why? Because I said so. And so yeah, so that's what we're doing, is redoing that. It will, my friend. An engineering feat like no other. Let me pop open a little bit of that to show you, because I do have some of it already built and in the engine, and so I can show you that. Speaking of this project, however, I have gone and built a custom thumbnail for it now. So this is going to be the EXE icon that appears when I build the project. But there's my mask project there. So I've got some of the vehicles built already, Bobby. That's kind of what I've been plugging away at in regards to the in regards to this project. Is trying to hammer out most of these vehicles here. So if I go over here, we're not going to see shit because it's in the shade. But let me pull some of these things out here in a different way. Let's just go in the sun, and we'll do this. So I've got Rhino built and ready to go, which is this big old guy here. And so he's in a few shots in that scene. I've got vehicles. Let's Gator's built. And so this actually, like, the boat is in here. If we go inside this thing, like, there is the boat in here. It does transform. It does everything that it does in the show. And so yeah, so I've got Gator built. And I've got, like, a full. Let's rotate this around. The dash is my favorite thing on this thing because I worked hard on making this dash accurate. But I've got all of, like, the proper console things and everything that's in here, including my own button for opening the vehicle and spitting out the boat. That was actually a cigarette lighter I turned into the button. But yeah, and if you go in here, you can see that there's a shield heads-up display mechanism here that's tracking parts of the Jeep and everything. And so anyway, that's Gator. So we got Rhino, we got Gator. Actually, it wasn't until I started modeling these things and I started naming the folders that I realized how many of these freaking things are just named after animals. That I found absolutely hilarious. But anyway, rhino, gator. Here is hurricane, not an animal, obviously. This is the 57 Bel Air, which looks like this. It's got an interior as well. It's just really dark in here. Mainly because it's got really, really tinted windows, but it was never meant to be, you're not supposed to see inside it like you can the Jeep. And even Rhino, like Rhino's got an interior too. All kinds of dials and switches and stuff. And it's got its own Rhino Systems display and everything that's here too. And so, yeah, there's that. So that's 3 of them. Thunderhawk, which is not built yet. This is just the shell of the vehicle. There's a lot more modeling done on it. This is just my proxy, which is the Camaro. And then Condor, which I'm going to see if this works because it's been broken in the past. There's Condor. So yeah, it looks like it's still broken. I have some issues with this Condor here. We're going to go and switch this to animation asset, and I'll put the animation in here. That fixed it. And so there's Condor. Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. This is one of those things from my childhood that, always loved and wanted to redo. But anyway, there's Condor. And unlike the others, so there's no animation or anything on Gator, but like the boat is inside it and the whole thing does separate. But this guy, I did a temporary, just because the mechanisms, the mechanics of it, of making it work, I had no idea how it was going to work. And so what I've got, let's go full screen so you can see this. I can't do it full screen because I need access to this. But yeah, if I grab this guy and I just go play with the animation here, we can actually transform it into the helicopter, which is really cool. I think I just crashed the engine. Yeah, that's going to crash. But anyway, yeah, I've got the full transformation mode of the helicopter. Video driver crashed and was reset. Make sure your video drivers are up to date. It really doesn't like when I do that. It's because it's not rigged. Everything is just kind of linked. But that is that side of it. And so, yeah, it's definitely a passion project. It's something that has, very near and dear to my heart for quite some time. And it's one of those things that at some point, I would like to not teach anymore. I love teaching, and it's been an awesome career. But I'm like, my days are limited in doing this, and I'm fully aware of that, at some point, I'm going to be either too old for anybody to take me serious when it comes to the gaming industry, or I'm just not going to have any kind of relevant, knowledge. And this is part of what I'm doing here, right? Is that I'm trying to increase my knowledge set of the things that we do. Because if I don't do this, I can't teach. And so there's a little bit of that. I've got to stay cutting edge in order to be able to teach this to anyone. And so little projects like that, definitely help, and projects like this really help. But at some point, the idea is that at some point I'm not going to want to teach at a school anymore. And I would love to get to a point where I have an online thing that is my own, where I'm teaching people just online, where I can do live streams like this and videos, and I can do 1 or 2 a week and just go through really high-end character modeling, or really high-end game development and that kind of thing. It's about the long game, right? It's about that not exactly retirement, but something in that vein. I do have a Patreon. I had a Patreon set up for a little while, in terms of getting custom tutorials and things like that built, and I was really pushing it for some time. But with school, it was really hard to do, and I kind of approached it in the wrong way. um, yeah, exactly. That's what you want, right? You want money that makes itself for you. That's the idea. And that's why, I mean, there's a lot of games that do that too, right? If you can design a game that people just keep generating revenue to play this thing, or keep people just keep generating revenue for you by playing this thing, that is a really big deal. But yeah, I kind of, I'm constantly thinking about the end game, and what I want to do. And so anyway, the Mask project was meant to be something to drive people to my page, drive people to my YouTube channel, get something that hopefully is high profile enough that it warrants enough people looking at it. That you see these all the time. So and so did this, and it's been posted on Kotaku and that kind of thing. And exactly, build a community. That's the idea. And so that's kind of where it all started, as well as just being something that I, love from my childhood and want to work on. I also, and I mean, yeah, you've seen me do this a handful of times with different projects, right? Where, if I could somehow configure Kenner, and it's actually Hasbro now that owns the license, into giving me the license for Mask. I make something that is badass enough in terms of a remake of the intro, and then I show it to Hasbro, and I'm like, look, why don't you give me the license, and I'll make a game for this, and we'll see if we can't, I'll make a bunch of money from it. And you do this before, like I wanted to do this with Firefly, and I wanted to do this with my roller derby game, and so on. And I love that idea of a built-in audience. The thing with Mask is that not a lot of people know it right now. Lovely. Sorry, my wife just came in and showed me some stitching. And so yeah, it's one of those things that like there isn't a lot of audience right now that knows that property. But I know that Kenner, or Hasbro rather, has been very anxious to do something with it. In fact, if you go to IMDb and you look up Hasbro, or not Hasbro, but if you look up Mask on IMDb, there's currently a listing for a film, which is something that they've wanted to do forever, and it was originally going to be part of a master cinematic universe that they were doing with Transformers and G.I. Joe. And while Transformers performed the way that they had hoped and the way that they wanted, G.I. Joe did not. And so that kind of made them tank that idea of a shared universe. And rumor has it now that they're actually planning on rebooting the G.I. Joe franchise in order to try and do this shared universe thing where, if I get the idea right, the Transformers come from Cybertron. G.I. Joe is sent to defend Earth from them, and ends up siding with the Autobots. Autobots roll out, and then the Mask guys get fooled into working with the Decepticons, and end up that some of the Decepticon tech ends up being what creates their vehicles. And so they kind of have like this idea of how all this stuff is going to fit together, and they just never really did anything with it. And so it would be nice to build something like that. I can see, these are vehicles with weapons on them, so I could see a Twisted Metal style game, done in this way. That might be the way to go. I honestly don't know what would be the best way to go. Twisted Metal to me is, that's a franchise that I've loved since I was a kid, as I was a youngin'. That it would be really good to revive. It's just a matter of whether or not they want it revived. It's just the big kicker. And so, anyway, it would be nice to plug away on this thing, get some notoriety for the channel, try and get a few more followers and subscribers to the point that at some point I can retire and just put together videos, right? So that I'm not required to go to work. This pandemic working from home has been really nice for me in terms of being able to put together content. And, you know, I've been live streaming for days now, and it's been a beautiful thing being able to do that. It's just a matter of building an audience, right? Getting to a point where people are eager to hear the things. Like, I know what I'm talking about. And many of you guys know that I know what I'm talking about, as many of you are my former students. And I've had a pretty loyal following from those who are students or former students, which has always been nice. But yeah, it's one of those things that would be really, really nice to kind of try and turn that into a work from home permanently type thing. And so that's kind of the gist. That project, like the only thing it's for is to bring notoriety to my YouTube channel and to hopefully maybe try and bring it to Hasbro's attention and, you know, see just if anything can be done with it, which would be, you know, really nice if I could do something with it. And so yeah, anyway, that's the gist. Now, I don't think I want to do this. Tell me I did you base 4. Damn it, I did it again. Alright, screw it. I made a mistake here in doing this. Whoops. Why did that not work? Connect. Okay. Made a little bit of a mistake here making this thing. That's the problem, is that you need a pretty good social media going, and I really honestly don't have time to keep social mediaing. I tried doing it with Twitter, or not with Twitter, with Instagram, and getting on Instagram and trying to get enough of a following there. But it's one of those things too that, you know, the live stream is part of it, the YouTube channel is part of it, and so yeah, no, exactly. We're preaching to the choir, my friend. Okay, so this guy is a little off. Let me go revisit this. Let's actually take these. Why are you triangulated? What the hell happened to that? Bah. I don't know what I did to this, but it's triangulated now. Anyway, let's go and affect pivot centered objects. There are only 2 of them. So I'm going to move this back. It's really this one that I want to get correct. So these 2 straps are supposed to fit inside this box, which is definitely not the way it's working at the moment. And I'm not going to be able to scale it to make it work. Yeah, that's the idea, man, is I want to turn it into something, you know? That would be the dream. The dream is to, you know, write my own destiny. Yeah, that would be the idea. The problem is that I'm so far removed from that stuff that, you know, like I've got an Instagram post and whatnot. I don't Facebook. I don't like most social medias. I don't know if this is just a part of my age group not being a part of that and not really understanding what you frickin' kids see in that side of things. But like I've done some of the social media things, you know, I've got you on Instagram, Bobby, and I follow you, but like most of what I'm posting is not yeah, see, that's a static mesh. Yeah, that's exactly it, Rich. You've got to it's all about being consistent with it. Which is one of the hardest things that I have right now is I'm just not consistent in anything that I do. Okay, I'm gonna export this guy out. Export selection. Let's go put this. Where are we? Hero prop, totem meshes, and this is the cave dweller. Yes. It is. It is totally. It's something that you've got to commit to, and especially when it comes to the fall. Um, when I start teaching again, like I don't have time for that. You know, I'm there for the students, and I don't want to divvy my time up and you know have someone you know crazy for that. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna put this into the engine here. Export selected. I know it's not textured or high poly or anything yet. Um, Christian, hey brother, how you doing, man? You missed the excitement of my stream being taken down and me bringing it back up again. Because YouTube can't bring me down. What the hell is this? Cave Dweller. So back into the world of Unreal. I now go to my totem meshes and we right click and import that. We now have another totem, which again still needs to be textured. Granted. I gotta go into the right map. Yeah, sure, save that. And then I can go back to my totems here. And I'm having a weird issue with some of the totems where they're not really doing. That's crazy, dude. I had no idea. But yeah, it's a job doing that stuff, right? And that's it's a lot of work to keep up. And while I wouldn't mind getting to the point where I am doing that, getting to that point is really, really tough. And so it is rough. Let me put the miner's helmet here. No, that's not how we do this. Come on, Dover. What are you, new? So let me go to my blueprints and grab my child blueprint, which I'm going to put up here. Actually, I'm going to put it up here. We'll go zoom in on this guy. And we can go and choose, I think this is 3. That's the deadites. 4, 5, 6. I have no idea what number this is. Searching for days here. Let's go into blueprints and grab the totems list. Find the cave dweller. 41. Oh yeah, that would have taken me a long time. 41. So that seems like a problem. Move this over here. There is no helmet. So what the hell happened? I can see a helmet here. Poly count is about right. Yeah, no, absolutely. It is something that I could do. It's just a matter of finding that person, right? Finding someone who wants to do it, finding someone I would trust enough to do it and doing that kind of stuff. was a little bit better. I was just looking at my my stream. I'm gonna pause my own stream because I don't need to be streaming. I don't need to be streaming myself. I just need this. Yeah, like the dude in Space Force. Space Force, that is such a good show. Okay. I love how quick they put that together too, because the US just did that, right? They created a new branch. That's hilarious. Okay. I see you here. There's definitely nothing here. Let's try 40. Teapot. 41. Okay. So I got a couple of things I've got to go check. Let's open this blueprint. Absolutely, dude. Email it away. Email it away. I'll take a look. We'll all look at it on the stream here. You can get yourself a whole bunch of feedback. Okay, let's go find the cave dweller in here. He's 41, so he's going to be down here. Aha! That is not the right one. Wait a minute. Cave dweller. Oh, that is going to the right one. This one is the Jinn. Which that should have been Jinn. Okay. That is setting the right asset. $41's the right number here. Cave dweller, cave dweller. Why is there nothing there? Save all. This is not so good. This is not supposed to happen. You're supposed to get to work. Shazbot. Okay. That works. I don't understand what's going on. Let me go take a look. See if it's floating there. That's the wrong way. Get lost in my own frickin' maze now. You're making a Toronto COVID map for Sheridan. And you have 10 million verts. Is that what I'm reading, Rich? 10 million verts? All right, everyone. Let's take a look at Michael's mesh here. See what's up. So one of the things that you want to be careful with when you have a very large mesh is that you want to make sure that you've got it broken into chunks that are visible and not visible, right? So that stuff gets clipped and hidden when you're not looking at it. And so you definitely want to break it into chunks. That is a big important thing. But make sure that those chunks each chunk is completely visible when you see it. Where are these? What are these renders from, Michael? This is definitely the nicer of them. It loses something here. I think it's just gotten better lighting. This one just looks harsh. It's more contrast in the lighting, I think. It's definitely a nice phone, my friend. That's from Substance? It is nice. So I take it like it's obviously it's an antique phone. It's meant to be something old. A lot of the wear that I'm seeing, oh, okay, yeah. A lot of the wear that I'm seeing is stuff like scratches and imperfections on the metal, and like I can see some wear on the wood and stuff. Oh, that's cool. I don't know if it's worth putting more damage in the wood. When I look at the reflections in the wood, it is really, really, really smooth in there. And I don't know if you should have some nips and some like little chips out of it here and there, to help just kind of break up the shininess of it. This is nice back here. I like that. And then also think of the device too in terms of its use. Yeah, this guy here, I think it's got small little digits in the holes, which was the kind of thing that you saw in these old ones. But anyway, when thinking of the use, especially with an old camera in a current day setting, or camera with an old phone in a current day setting, remember that this piece of wood right here is going to see the absolute most amount of wear, right? Because every time somebody grabs this thing, they're grabbing that piece of wood. And so I think that needs to be broken up a little bit more. Exactly. You're all hitting the right points here. Bobby's saying the uniformity of the wood roughness, right? Which is the same thing I was saying. Like it almost looks like a brand new shellacked piece of wood, even though you've got some of this this wear on it. It just looks like you should have um, a little bit more unevenness in the roughness here. Whether it's scratches and dings to the material that's there, or there are little chips out of it or things. Picture someone putting the receiver back, many times, and it falls. If this thing falls, especially made out of brass or something like that, like it's going to leave a dent or a ding in the bottom of this thing. And so a lot of stuff like that would really, really help to sell it, especially that handle. I think you've got to wear that handle down. Yeah, exactly. Another good point, Rich. The all of the metal here, right, where the actually receiver goes all the time. Like, think of how many times this thing would be used, and how many times that receiver would be put off and on there. And so you're going to get a lot of scrapes and stuff in here. And so if this isn't pure brass, if it's something that's brass coated, you might end up having some of that brass coating peel off a little bit and seeing some of the whatever type of metal is underneath, whether it be nickel or anything like that. Look at some images here for worn brass to kind of give you an idea. Brass really discolors funny too, which is one of those things. Like when you see really old brass stuff, like there's really kind of, this is obviously brass plated and or coated, and it's not pure brass, right? You can see some of that coating lifting off, and you can see the secondary metal that's underneath. And so you would get a lot of this on where that receiver is, right? Where there's a lot of contact points, which would be a really good place to do that. And again, like depending on how old you go with it, like here's some brass pedals on a piano, and like they are like really tactile, and the sheen is gone off them, right? They're mostly they're mostly at a point where you're seeing more wear than anything else, and so especially something like that. Now, hand worn wooden handle. Um, there's no K in handle. See this a lot in things like tools and whatnot, where there's a very specific amount of wear that happens where the grip is, to the point of the wood actually being worn away. Things like this, this is a little bit closer to what I would expect the handle of that receiver to look like. Now there is the opposite side of this argument as well, in that this is an antique phone, but it's in a mansion that's well taken care of, and so you may not get this high level of wear. Like, look at this guy. That is beautiful right there. That is what I would expect to see on the handle. This was probably a really polished, really clean piece of whatchamacallit, piece of wood at one point. But that would really kind of complete that. There you go, Mike. Go to Sean Davies on ArtStation. I'll do it. I'll bring it on screen here. I'm just going to do it off screen because ArtStation does tend to have some nudity on there. What were you saying, Bobby? It's his phone now, right? Yeah, his old phone. There. So look at this. Look at this, Mike. Look at the wood on this when compared to yours. See the how much texture detail from the wood we're seeing show through? Like, see how that roughness that's there? Like, the wood is still shiny, but see how it's not an even gloss coat, right? This thing wasn't shellacked yesterday. And you can see like there's scratches and imperfections and that kind of stuff. And so yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful example of that point that you want to hit, I think. If you can get close to what this is. Some really interesting topology. But yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. The amount of wear that's on this is really believable. Even like, and again, when you look at the brass, right? You look at how worn that brass is. And a lot of this stuff, like, it's just subtlety. It's just really being subtle with a lot of those details and that kind of stuff. Okay, I gotta figure out why this is not working. So this is telling me that it is working. I'm very. Yeah, that's great advice, Bobby. Looking to see what other people have done and that kind of thing. Seeing what other people have done, and it may not be something that jumps out at you right away, but seeing what people have done that doesn't look good. Artists helping artists. I love it. Okay. Okay, so why is this not working? So it's 41. It's called cave underscore dweller. This is called cave underscore dweller. There is a helmet. Now it doesn't have a material, and I'm wondering if maybe that is an issue. I'm wondering if that's causing it not to render correctly. So let's just go grab one of my textures, one of my materials here. There's my checker pattern. Come again? Oh, this is interesting. It's, oh, is this material broken now? This material is broken now. Well, that's peculiar. Okay. Well, let's kill it from here. Reset this. They're off. I'm going to delete that material if it's not being used for anything. Let's go and grab, I don't even care. Let's grab the pumpkin texture and put it on the cave dweller's helmet. Very peculiar set of UVs. Let's see if that helps it. It's not there. Is it in the wireframe? It's not in the wireframe. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I've had this happen a couple of times now with some of my totems that the new totems don't work. So let me delete this one. Why can't I delete you? There we go. Let's go and look at one of the old totems that does work. Say, let's pick one in the light. This guy. Very kind of you, Bobby. Yeah. Doesn't seem to like that mesh. Okay, so to investigate, let's go back to the blueprint system and go and take a look at this in the viewport. This guy is here. I don't have my... There's the mesh. Yeah, so the way this works, Jeff, this is going to be a game that I'm going to have my students play in the first week of class, where they pick a monster that they're going to be making for the duration of my class, and I'm not just going to let them pick anything. I'm setting up a game that they're going to play in the first week, where they wander around this basement picking up items at random, and whatever item they happen to pick up is associated with whatever monster is associated with that item is what they're going to be working on. And so, yeah, that is the idea. And all my totems are working so far, with the exception of this new one, which for whatever reason, you can see when I drag it out, I get totem 0 here. This is the alien pod. And if I go and change this totem number to anything, it should cycle through all of the different totems that I have. Many of them are not done yet, which is why we're seeing a lot of stuff that doesn't show up. That's right. This is for organic modeling. 3D sculpting and organic modeling. So let me try if that works. 41. It's really bizarre. There's just nothing there. Okay, well, let me go to the totem meshes. That's materials. Totems. Can I see... Where's Cave Dweller? There you are. Huh. Okay, so there might be something wrong with the mesh. Oh! Wait. No, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. What an idiot he is. I'm an idiot. I have to be in the right map. Yes, all of that is good. And if I'm not in the right map, then I can't place anything. So let's try that. Let's see if this totem now works. Apparently no. Okay. That's confusing. So there might just be something wrong with the mesh. Let's re-exported it again. I'm going to throw a temp set of UVs on this. How are you, Jeff? Why do I not recognize your name? Are you new here? You know the name of my class, which leads me to believe that you are a George Brown, either student or former student. But it's been a while since I've had a Jeff in my class. Doing this. Do a planar map. Good enough. Put it in here. So I'm wondering if the UVs are somehow contributing this to being broken. Next bolt selected. And see, yep, I was in your class last semester. Oh, so you would have been, that was first. Oh, now I know who you are. I get it. It makes sense. Let's try and save this. Have you, Jess, have you picked your classes yet? Are you one of mine, or did you go the other way? I'm curious. A couple of us teachers were talking about it. And I'm curious, because you've probably picked your classes by now, one would assume. Ah, that is the problem. I'm an idiot is the problem. Why didn't any of you warn me I was an idiot? Here's the problem. The helmet is on a gentleman's head. I deleted the gentleman. Remember that I made this helmet out of the helmet from a soldier that I already had. And that's how I started off with a base shape. And as a result, the helmet is 6 feet off the ground. Not freaking useful. So I've got to go place it in the right area. Beautiful. That is exactly what I wanted to hear, Jess. You have chosen wisely. I mean, I'm sure you were an excellent student in all of your classes, but you were one of the best modeling students I've had in first term. And so I'm glad to see you going that route. Which just means you're going to get more of me as well.